It's time for a little Funky Friday. From their funky hidden headquarters, your hosts, Keith and Gerry. Not Gerry.
I love that opening theme. Thank you, Tom. Sadly, Keith is not here today. Keith is in the state of madness, Ohio, driving on the road. But he dropped in to say hi to everybody and wish me a happy birthday. And so he's not going to be able to join us today, sadly. And we're going to be talking about subjects he wants to talk about. Kieran, sadly, is in the countryside of England. He says, I can't be there, old man. Sorry. So he will not be joining us today. And but we got John Duswolfen here. Martina Costa Santana by way of Venezuela, Ohio, and the master of ceremonies, the guy that makes everything awesome, Stone Locally, God of Mischief. Do you say mischief or mischief?
Mischief.
Yeah. Thank God, because you'd be such a pretentious prick if you said it that way. Like, why would you say that? So, thanks for being here, buddy. I don't know who else is going to show up, if anybody. Don't care. Love it if they do show up, but it doesn't matter if they don't. I'm not hurt by it. I think birthdays are silly, but I'm 1 year closer to death, and I'm happy about it because I've just about had enough of this fucking world. It's just exhausting and daunting. The political disrest in this country, around the world, everything is just sort of like, it happens. It'll flare up every once in a while. And tell me you guys don't feel this way too. It's sort of like, that's how I react to it. It's like, oh man, come on, come on, man. Doing my Biden. Yeah, it's like, but come on, man, come on. That's all he can do now. That's his go-to when he gets confused and addle-minded. Come on, man. You don't. What's this? What did she say? I count on one of you guys snitching and telling me what he said that I couldn't hear. No, you don't. You do not need to tell her what I said. No. Girlfriend shouldn't hear stuff like that. But Penny is here. That's Sox Bulletin is here. It's gonna be a slow start. Did we promo?
Yeah.
Huh. Wow. So let's get in some geekosity. See what is going on over there. Share screen. Boogada boogada boogada. And load. There we go. Put us down below. And what I do here is I ask if we don't have somebody from Geekosity, I ask you guys, do you want to read about this and find out about it? Jonathan Majors' Kang Dynasty is on the brink of collapse. Anybody want to read this? Know about it?
Well, I think we can figure out what it says.
Yeah. Fuckhead James Cameron in talks to direct Alita Battle Angel 2. I'm not excited about that. He's a fuckhead. I don't really like him. But they have a new writer over there. Look at that. It's Ringo Ordonez. Oh, wow. So Kieran's not doing all the writing now. Good. That's good to see. Aquaman 2 unlikely to touch 1 billion.
It's unlikely to touch 500 million, but
yeah. Venom 3 adds Doctor Strange Chiwetel. I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Ejiofor.
Good actor though. Red Belt's one of my favorite films with him. So, what do you guys think of that?
Oh, they're gonna have a turd of a time getting Aquaman 2 over that 500 million mark.
Oh yeah.
What do you think's killing it?
It's really going to shit the bed.
It's going to Amber Turd. It's going to totally Amber Turd. Yep.
Yeah. Turd of a time.
Turd of a time. Let's see. Let's check this one out. I am curious about this. This article written by our good friend Kieran Bug. Venom Doctor Strange co-star to the cast and in an undisclosed role. Well, already I'm out of this article. It's like, why am I reading this? So, Fast X delivers jaw-dropping return of Dwayne Johnson. Is that true?
Spoilers. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet.
It's in the very end of the movie. It's like a last credit scene. To hell with them for ruining that for people too. It's like it's an after credit scene with Dwayne Johnson.
Post credit.
Yeah.
Who's he talking to?
Oh, I have no idea. I haven't seen it. I just know that it's an after credit scene and he's in it and it's supposed to signal his return for the last movie. There's going to be one more movie after
I
this.
thought there was going to be two. I thought they said it was going to be a trilogy for Fast X 2, Fast X 3.
Well, it's supposed to be a two-parter from what I heard.
Okay.
What about Hobbs and Shaw?
That was supposedly the reason why he wasn't in any more of these is because him and Ben don't get along, and Hobbs and Shaw was a big. If you let him do another one of those movies, I won't be in it. Ben wouldn't be in another one, so that's Vin Diesel gumming up the works because he doesn't like Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, he's a pussy. I get it. Venom 3's working title teases possible villain. Do we know anything about this?
No, I don't know. I haven't heard what the working title is.
Article by Kieran Bug. Venom 3's working title has reportedly been revealed, and it possibly teases who the sequel's main villain could be. Surprising everyone, 2018's Venom turned out to be a roaring success for the Sony Pictures. I still haven't seen it. Just not interested in it. If it's not R-rated, I want to see it R-rated. I just don't want to see Venom not being R-rated. So upon release, the movie was met with divided reception from critics and fans. Critic reviews were mostly negative, whilst general audiences had a more positive reaction to Tom Hardy's double performance as Eddie Brock, and Venom received praise from both sides. In addition, the comedic chemistry between the symbiotic pair, because they're performed by the same actor, it's kind of weird to point out that they have chemistry because it's one person. Anyway, was considered Venom's biggest highlight. Many claimed the film's plot was incoherent and messy. Nonetheless, the iconic anti-hero's first solo film managed to earn a staggering $856 million worldwide. To no one's surprise, Sony immediately greenlit the sequel and released 3 years later. Much like its predecessor, Venom: Let There Be Carnage released to mixed reviews. The plot was considered to be less dull than the first movie, but sadly suffered due to a much shorter runtime. However, this didn't diminish the... Okay, we're reading a bunch of stuff about that stuff. Don't care. Managed to gross $506 million still, which is not bad. In addition, Tom Hardy has teased that this will be his final time portraying the character. A working title for the upcoming third installment has reportedly emerged online. Moreover, if it's accurate, it could give us a good idea of who the main villain will be. According to Cosmic Circus, I don't know who that is. Do you guys know who that is?
No. Never heard of it.
Another out of nowhere place.
Clue.
Okay. Venom 3 is being produced under the name Orwell. Comic book readers and Venom fans will probably recognize the name in the 1992 storyline Venom Lethal Protector. A character called Orwell Taylor played a key role in the plot. After Venom kills his son, Orwell swears vengeance against Eddie Brock. It's possible that Venom 3 could be that adapted story. I don't even remember that because I'd already quit reading comics at that point. So that's sad. And if I've never told you, Loki, I quit reading in 86 because of the Secret Wars.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Here's why. I felt really pressed upon as a fan that they did the marketing that they did on that with the you got to buy this comic to get the rest of the story, and it was a side story that meant nothing to the overall story because they wanted to get comics that weren't selling to sell, and then they started doing the variant covers. And I'm a collector, also a completionist. I'm weird like that. And so I got so mad at the money I spent on Secret Wars. I fucking sold all my comic books. And the only thing that good that came out of that was, well, the shit with Iron Man, Tony Stark was important. But moreover, the most important thing was the symbiote. The rest of it I didn't really care too much about.
Yeah, I kind of went back and forth in the 80s and 90s between Marvel and DC. And DC really pulled me in with the death of Superman. But I think it was around the time that they did the New 52 that I was just out. I was done.
Yeah, I was already out by that point. I stopped in the 90s with DC. I stopped in the 80s with Marvel, stopped in the 90s, right after the death of Superman, because I thought, and don't get me wrong, I like the Steel storyline. And Keith and I talk about this a lot, that we have yet to see a proper adaptation of that character.
Yes, no, absolutely.
And I hated the movie Steel back in the 90s, which Shaquille O'Neal. It's like really bad. And I kind of like, but also kind of don't like the current iteration of Steel on Superman and Lois.
No, I agree.
It's still not Steel. It's Steel.
No.
It's still not Steel.
No, it's not. And the greatest thing about that was you had 4 Supermen at the time. You had Cyborg Superman, you had the Last Son of Krypton, you had Superboy, and then you had Steel. Whereas these guys, these 3 super powered beings, very much fought and acted like Superman. It was Steel that had all the heart. Steel had all the heart and all the hope. And out of all of them that had these great abilities, he's the one who didn't. He's the one who had to have a suit to fight, and he was the one that was most like Superman, upholding those ideals and that vision that Superman
exactly.
had. Yes.
Spiritually, internally.
Yes.
He had the spirit of Superman better than anybody else. And that's why I really loved that comic. And I got so excited when they put the Shaq movie out, and then I went to see it. And I was like, oh. Like when you hear you're getting this great gift at Christmas, we bought you like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle action figures. And then it's like, it's actually a knockoff toy. And you go, oh. That's how I felt when I would see Shaquille O'Neal as Steel. It was really bad. Steel, yeah, exactly. Our good friend Kingsport Cal is in the chat. Absolutely. He said he quit reading comics when he started getting laid.
And it's funny how many people back then were like, we need this harder hitting Superman. We need a Superman that doesn't have this code. We need, all this violence. And they gave that to you with Last Son of Krypton. I mean, he shows up and he kills a guy trying to take advantage of a woman in a washroom. She's getting attacked by this guy. He says what he's going to do, and boom, he gets blown away and vaporized by this killer Superman. And who liked it? Who really liked that idea? Nobody. Nobody really liked it. Nobody really liked what happened, except for this guy down here who weighs a half a ton. And yeah.
Fat Steven Seagal. Yeah. Fat Steven!
Seeming as how I don't know what the subject was about, no, I'll deny everything. Good evening, everyone.
Hello. I got to tell you, I'm interested in this. Let me put us to the side here on this one. There we go. John Barenthal trains for Punisher return with Thomas Jane. Has anybody heard this?
No.
This was by Kieran. Came out on May 13th. John Barenthal begins training for his upcoming return as the Punisher alongside former Frank Castle actor Thomas Jane. With Daredevil Born Again currently filming in New York, John Barenthal is gearing up for his return as the Punisher. Much like Charlie Cox, there was no doubt about whether or not Marvel Studios would bring Barenthal back into the fold. Since his debut in Daredevil season 2, the actor has cemented himself as the most popular adaptation. It's starting to feel like, and I'd make fun of Kieran if he was here. Are you writing for getting your word count in? Got to get that word count, Kieran. I'm teasing him. He's not even here. I'll tease him later in a private message. I'm glad to see you got your word count on that Barenthal story. Considered. John Barenthal has recently been seen training vigorously for his high anticipated return to the MCU. An Instagram video posted by the weapon manufacturer's Terran Tactical Innovations shows Barenthal testing out their vast inventory. Ooh, I got to go check those videos out. Moreover, he's been training with these weapons alongside actor Thomas Jane. Thomas Jane is known for his roles in popular movies like Boogie Nights, Deep Blue Sea, and The Mist. Furthermore, he's also known for his portrayal of the Punisher in the 2004 feature film of the same name. He was the perfect Punisher, by the way. He's very good. The movie is just bad. Thomas Jane's Punisher movie received mixed to negative reviews and only earned $54 million worldwide against a $33 million budget. Nonetheless, the movie has gained a cult following in recent years and is often regarded as a classic. Plus, Thomas Jane's portrayal of Frank Castle has always been held in high regard by fans of the character. A sequel was planned, but Jane dropped out due to creative differences. The actor stated, "What I won't do is spend months of my life sweating over a movie that I just don't believe in. I've always loved the Marvel guys and wish them well. Meanwhile, I'll continue to search for a film that one day might stand with all those films that the fans have asked me to watch." And I will say, by the way, he did, paid out of his own pocket, made his own fan film called Dirty Laundry.
Yep.
And it's very good.
Story ever.
Have you seen that,
in
Loki?
live action?
Loki, have you seen that one?
The original?
No, the fan film that Thomas Jane made.
No, I haven't.
Dirty Laundry. You need to see it. It's dope. It really is. It's the Punisher, but you don't know it until the end. But we knew it anyway. We knew it going in that he's doing his own Punisher film. And it's a short little film. Ron Perlman makes an appearance in it. It's very good. Steven, have you ever seen it?
No, I haven't, sadly.
You need to see it too. Go check it out. It's on YouTube. You can find it. It's called Punisher Dirty Laundry. And he, like I said, paid for it out of his pocket. Both Thomas Jane and John Barenthal have a deep love for the brutal anti-hero and have now shared that bond. The pair are seen trying out various handguns and assault rifles. I wonder who he's playing. And this, I guess, is the link.
What if he's playing a different version of the Punisher? They've been doing the whole multiverse thing.
Oh, God, please don't be the latest one with the skulls. I would rather eat little mermaid tacos.
Little mermaid tacos? What?
Would they do that, though? Would they, make him a different version, or would they just bring him back as his version?
Loki, we've seen the history of what Marvel's doing, right? So it is not out of the possibilities, right? What is that?
It's the same range that Keanu trained on.
That is lovely to tell.
Same people.
I didn't know you got to get him in the head to get him down.
I didn't know you need to get him in the head to get him down. I don't know. It's pretty cool. I kind of poke fun at Thomas Jane because he fingers the hell out of his guns. I hope somebody trains him to stop doing that.
It's a gun, not your girlfriend.
Yeah, it's a weapon, not your girlfriend. Stop sticking your finger in it. Look, trigger discipline is something that's beat into in law enforcement and in the military today. And I just watched that movie with him called One Ranger. Did anybody else see that?
No.
It's not bad.
Yet.
It's not bad. I enjoyed the film. The girl from The Expanse, because Thomas Jane was in The Expanse too, they are partnering up. She's British intelligence working alongside the CIA, and they got to hunt down this guy that he tried to capture and lost in a gunfight, and so he's got to recapture him. And he's a Texas Ranger, so he helps the British recapture this guy. And it leads to some really good action scenes, but she's the one using proper trigger discipline, always with the finger on the outside, not bent into the trigger housing. In the same shot, he's walking around with his fucking finger in the trigger housing. It's like, oh, drives me crazy. So I hope they train him better than that, but who knows? We'll see. I'm excited about The Punisher. What are you guys thinking about it?
That'll be nice to see it back again.
Under Disney, I don't trust Disney at all. I'm hoping they don't fuck this up, but I'm hoping also. I hate it when he does that. I really do. He just starts laughing over everything. Are you done?
I'm sorry. It was the words. I hope they don't fuck this up is very humorous right now after the Cannes Film Festival stuff going on. So
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Look, people are doomcock everybody saying that this is Disney letting Kennedy cut her own throat.
I apologize for laughing. I find that line very humorous.
I don't mind you laughing. It's when you do that thing where you cut everybody off.
I didn't mean to cut anyone off. I'm sorry. I just yeah.
Have you heard the thing about the test screenings?
Yep.
Yeah.
That the test screenings these people aren't like just people they pulled in. They're not friends of friends. These are sensitivity viewers. The test screenings that have been going on. What does
sensitivity viewer mean?
Oh, you're going to love this, man. If you haven't heard about this, Gerry, you're going to love this. Okay. So they've hired a group of these people work for a company. It's like almost like a SJW company. You come in and they sit down and they watch the movie and they tell you all the things that they're offended by when they see the movie. And then they go back and they edit and they do rewrites and they do reshoots and then they show it to them again. And they're paying these people like $100 an hour to sit there and take notes and tell them what is wrong with the movie. And then they do reshoots again. And if they don't like the ending or they don't like this or they don't like that, these are called sensitivity viewers that make sure your movie is future-proof so you have not offended anyone or cannot possibly offend someone in the future.
So in other words, they ruin their film before it even gets out because
they ruin their
no matter what. You cannot make a safe space in a film industry where films are supposed to be outlandish. That's the part of entertainment. They're not supposed to be reality. That's what documentaries are.
And Disney has admitted this now, Gerry. Disney has admitted that they have hired these groups to come in. These are not your normal test screenings. These are future-proofed. These are future-proofed sensitivity watchers that get paid to watch your film, watch your episode, watch your whatever that you're going to come out with.
Nothing
and tell you
about this
all
sounds
the
like
things,
a good idea.
All the things that are wrong with it. And this has been going on for a lot longer than people realize. When you hear these test screenings or nobody liked the test screenings, it's not that your average audience is watching it and saying this is terrible. It is these sensitivity viewers that are saying this is horrible. You can't have this stuff in your movie. This offends me. This offended my partner. This offended whoever's sitting there watching it, and you've got to make a corrective action.
There's a bad part to this too now because there was leaks, and I don't know who has seen the 2 to 3 minute leak of the chase scene within Indiana Jones 5, and if that's true, then they are the ones who made Phoebe Waller look worse than her actual script probably was, just yelling at an old white man.
Yeah. By the way, Polly is here.
Yep. Polly.
Hey, Polly.
Hello, Polly. Okay.
Hey, yeah. Can I yell at all you white people or what? What's going on?
Yeah.
You earned it.
We like it. We like that.
You know, apparently there's a whole thing going on in the Latin sphere that I'm part of where it's like they're going after Latinos who are white supremacists within
Oh God, yeah. Don't even get. That's so fucking dumb.
I just like this one Twitter group I'm in. I'm just like, God, you guys are so fucking dysfunctional, man. You know,
If you
like give
don't
it a
have the
rest.
right political
Give it a
view
rest.
as a person of any color, if you have the wrong political view with the different color, you are absolutely a white supremacist. And I've heard them do it. Go after black guys,
Well,
Asian. I've got 2 Asian friends that have
it's
been
not even
called white
that. It's not.
supremacists.
It's okay. It's that, but then it's also the deep seated kind of hate against your the color of your skin within a family. Latinos do that. That does exist. So that's also what they're referring to, which to me has nothing to do with your politics, right? Because there's that's like that's kind of separate. This is more kind of like a kind of like that institutionalized racism in your own head that's handed down generation to generation. That's like a real deal. Anyways, it rears its head up whenever there's political garbage going on. So yeah. Anyways, happy birthday.
Oh, thanks, Polly.
Isn't that why this is what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of. I got to tell you, dude. You got brought up last night while I was gaming.
While you were
with some friends.
gay? While you
gaming.
were gay?
I was gaming, not gay. I was gaming.
Gay
But
in the back door?
that fits the statement because they watched the show and they started doing the whole backdoor thing at a fucking party with my friends. Calling me backdoor Gerry. And I said, fuck you, Polly, during the party last night.
At the party or at the gaming
party? We're playing this game. It's actually a fun game.
Gotcha.
Blood on the Clock Tower. It's a fun RPG game. I actually enjoy playing. And but they've been making backdoor jokes, so it's you ruined my life, Polly. Thank you, buddy.
I mean, just go. You just go with it, man. Go with the back door.
I just go with it. Go with it.
Go with the back door, and So how has your birthday day been?
It's been weird. It was an odd day. My day gets thrown off because John was sick this morning, and Dawn, who was supposed to be there this morning, got his appointment finally, and of course, it's right when we're doing the show. And immediately my day is off. Like, I don't know why I'm like that. It's my OCD, and I know it is. So my day went off, and then it's like, I'm feeling better now as the day progressed. My daughter called, and I love hanging out with my daughter, and just had a blast talking to that little girl. I know she's a woman now, but she's still really tiny. She and Anima are about the same height, 5'1", 5'2", the two of them. It's weird. My girlfriend's the same height as my daughter.
That's good, man. You have a daughter who you talked to on your birthday. That's beautiful.
Yeah. And one day you're going to get to meet her. I really want you to meet my kid.
Oh.
You two would get along. She is such a funny little shithead. But what's going on with you, Polly?
Are you doing something nice for yourself today?
Later we're going to watch, Anima and I will do some TV stuff, and I'm probably going to give myself a fancy little dinner because I don't treat myself out fancy very often. I had a really good lunch today. I had dry rub St. Louis ribs for lunch, and
nice.
It's the only thing I like from Rib Crib. It really is. The only thing I like at Rib Crib is their St. Louis dry rub ribs. They're really good. They're like, would you like sauce? I got dry rub because I don't fucking want sauce on it. I don't want to ruin the meat. I want the meat.
But you said something about getting a sloppy Joe later, Gerry.
What?
I don't know. Don't do that. Loki, do not do that. Do not do that. Because before the show, I said, all I want on my birthday is a good beer, hang out with my bros, and then later from my girlfriend, get a sloppy Joe. And that's it.
I was talking about a sandwich. I thought you were talking about a sandwich.
Yeah, sloppy Joe sandwich.
He's talking about a saplon.
Sloppy Joe sandwich.
Right, Martin?
I prefer not to say now.
You
No.
prefer not to,
prefer not to say.
you prefer not to say saplon?
Looks like we have company.
I just said a
Danny's here.
really, really bad word in Spanish.
Thank God. We're already shadow banned by YouTube, so you can't hurt us any
Yeah.
further.
Hey,
Dork Knight is here. And
I,
he's shaved.
Hey, man.
And-
Happy birthday. It's my son's birthday, too. I don't know if you saw in the chat.
Yes, I actually knew your boy's birthday was the same as mine from last year.
Oh, okay. I knew that long. Wow. Okay.
so
wow,
Gary.
your connection is.
So Gary, how is it being 1 year from 70?
Is it bad? Okay.
1 year from 70.
But
I'm
is
1
it-
year from 60, you bitch. It's really it's odd knowing that I'm that close to 60 is weird. It's just weird. Because I don't feel it. Well, sometimes I feel like it. Like when I wake up in the morning. Everything hurts. But Donnie Pearson's here, Andy Morrow. Who else is in the chat that's joined us? Oh, we lost Danny. Parrot Head, Monkey Jeebus, the Vinkman's Girl is here, Scribe Light, of course, Kingsport Cal, E. Clay Thomason, Sox Bulletins, and that's it that's new that jumped in. All right, cool. We are streaming live on Twitter. Polly, did you know you could do that?
What's going on?
We officially started streaming today on Twitter.
Okay.
I didn't know that was available until I got a notification in my news feed. Now, what the fuck? So I went and looked it up, and I'm like, yeah, and I added it to our StreamYard, and I'm like, holy crap.
What I did notice on Twitter is in the chat groups you can now send audio.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Yep.
Well, I'll stick to text.
I didn't know that. Oh, wow. But
I
we're
think
going
it's
to be
just through your
switching
phone,
over
right?
eventually to EV Mux is the plan. KGRA Digital Broadcasting is switching over to EV Mux. And once they work out the wrinkles, all of our shows will move over to them. And by the way, are you a big fan of Ghostbusters?
You're talking to me?
Yeah.
That's all right. I mean, I think I'm a fan of, those comedians in other films, But like, yeah, Ghostbusters is good. But I'll take Stripes or Blues Brothers any day over Ghostbusters.
Oh, thank you, Donnie, for the birthday wish. Thank you. Thank you, everybody who's said that. But I'm a big fan, and Tom and I are doing a show tomorrow.
Tom's a huge fan.
Yeah. We're gonna do it's like a ride along. It's like he and I sit down and we're doing commentary to a slideshow of the movie. It's like what we do on Toxic Tuesday. And
Nice.
In fact, Mark is the one who taught me how to do it. So we're going to be doing Ghostbusters tomorrow. And I was going to say, if you're a fan, you might want to join us. You're welcome to. Loki?
Yeah, maybe.
Loki, are you up for it? Do you like it?
He said, "Be right back."
Oh, he said, "Be right back." Okay, I'll ask you when he gets back.
And I know he's been real busy with a lot of live stuff. I think he's got some stuff going on this weekend.
Tom?
No,
Loki.
And but I'm free this weekend to hang, so maybe I'll jump on an extra stream.
I'll send you an invite.
Yeah.
But it's going to be fun. I like doing that. It's like it's not every weekend; it's every other weekend. I do a show with Tom. We call it Tom and Gerry, or Tom and Gerry.
Nice.
And we just talk about films that we both like, that we share that love for. And we did Jaws last week, which was fun. We got into the minutia on that one. There's even a couple things that he told me I wasn't even aware of. I'm like, what? I didn't know that. It's fun. I like doing it. The trivia that comes out while we're talking. Arwen is here. Hi, Arwen.
Uh-oh. She's got the vapors.
Oh, Lord, I got the vapors. And I see William has dropped in with us.
Yes.
Hey, it's going on. Happy birthday.
Thank you very much, William. Thank you very much. it's this is what makes birthday fun, is hanging out with friends. So so we're gonna be I'm done with Geekosity today because really not that much interesting. Oh, thank you for putting dwarf retarded Gerry on. Thank you.
Down syndrome birthday, Gerry. Yes.
Down syndrome Gerry. And I love that photo, actually. That thing cracks me up. There's something wrong with it that I like it so much. But we talked a little bit about some stuff on Geekosity, and I think the only thing of all those stories that I found interesting was that Thomas Jane is going to be in the new Punisher with John Barenthal. I don't know who he's going to be or what, but they were weapons training this last week. I'm like, that's cool. Any thoughts on that one? Anybody?
I'd love to see Thomas Jane back. I'd love to see Thomas Jane back as a Punisher.
Yeah, that was an underrated movie at a time when nobody was really focusing on.
They made a handful of mistakes with it, and it cost them dearly. And one of the first ones was John Travolta was a bad choice for the villain. I don't know why, it just didn't work. He's a good actor. I like him, but he just didn't work as the villain.
He can play a great villain too. Just look at Broken Arrow. He can
Broken
play
Arrow is a prime example
excellent.
of him at his best.
Face Off.
As a bad guy. Face Off, very good. The switching back and forth between Travolta and Nick Cage was really good.
Yeah.
As the villain. Just a lot of fun. And thank you, Arwen, by the way. But I don't know. I don't know who he's going to play, though. I don't think he's the Punisher. I'm wondering if he's going to be a cop that becomes friends with him or something, or a Fed. Or a former soldier he served with. I don't know.
Or arms dealer. He could be anything.
Something. I don't think it is E. Clay Thomason. I don't think he's going to be the Punisher. Just, I don't see that happening. And I got to tell you, it's hard for me to give a shit. With the
Could he be playing Microchip?
Well, I don't know, because
I'd love him to see him back as Lars, the arms dealer that he played at the beginning of Punisher. Scheiße! Oh, nine, no! Yeah, I'd love to see him
I
back
could see
as
Microchip. Microchip makes the most sense.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: in the video of the both actors training, they are training them to move, in ways that they look alike. The
Really?
same move, synchronized. Yes. So it may be possible that it's.
Well, if they're doing
multiverse
cover
thing.
and recover, then they would be doing the exact same moves, just in sequence and one after another. So it could be a. It
And
could
if
be
they had
a-
combat training, exactly,
Yeah.
it's what you do. You're trained
Yeah,
to do
but
that.
they you see a segment in which they are doing the same movement synchronized, one stand beside the other. Yeah.
Hmm.
It all depends on what the script calls for, or what age too, because Thomas Jane isn't, depending on where they are starting the story, it wouldn't necessarily be appropriate for Thomas Jane to be the Punisher if they're starting somebody who's just beginning. Where is he at in his Punisher career? That would probably, tell you.
And I just
more
don't
about-
feel that doing multiverse with Punisher is a smart move. I think it's too weird.
I don't think
for
I think the multiverse is very temporary.
And there's Microchip, by the way, for everybody that's curious who he is.
Yeah, he goes all the way back to the Klaus Janson Punisher days back in the 80s.
And it's really weird, by the way. And I do want to post this again. I'm close friends with Mike Barron and Chuck Dixon, and these are two guys who had a huge impact on the Punisher.
Larry Hama as well.
And here's what I got from Mike Barron this morning for my birthday. He sent that to me as a private message of the Badger.
Nice.
Wow. It's going back.
But I worked on the cover to his new book. I don't get any credit for it. I was sort of like script doctoring it, but doing it with art, and fixed a couple of things. And so it's one of those proud things. And I will eventually get to work with him on a regular basis, but I'm too busy right now working on other comics. And but love Chuck Dixon, man, oh man. And Mike Barron and he really gave us the dark Punisher that we love today. And who is the other writer that was really good in that? I forget.
You had Larry Hama writing it for a while.
Is it Larry Hama that did it?
Yeah, Larry Hama actually started the original book because he came off the Nam. Remember, he was writing. He's a Vietnam veteran. He was writing Nam, and he connected with the Punisher because at that era's Punisher, the one that Mike Zeck did prior to the series coming out in 86, 87, was a Vietnam era captain. He was he had been in Nam, and he was a captain, and when his family got killed, that's when he became the Punisher. He left the military. The Punisher's actually a deserter. He's actually wanted for a desertion, but if you go back all the way back, because he was actually on active duty when his family got killed in the park, and Larry Hama was perfect for that because he made the Nam, a comic book about Vietnam, sell, and I didn't think that was possible, especially back in the 80s.
Well, it did work, and I love the Nam. It was a good comic series, but I would like to see a return to the Punisher going after gangsters again, the mob, organized crime,
drug dealers, heroin.
It was
dealers,
my big
dealers.
complaint about the series was it didn't have that element in it. And how are you going to get the Jigsaw? And I would love to see a good version. Don't get me wrong, I liked Warzone as a movie, but I did not like that actor as Jigsaw, and I didn't like their version of Jigsaw in that. Yeah. And you guys know what I'm talking about, that Punisher Warzone, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought it was an underrated, really good Punisher film. It just, Chuck didn't like it. I know that, Chuck Dixon. He was not a fan of it. And I understand his position on that, but I actually kind of liked it. My problem is I just didn't like Jigsaw in that. What did you guys think of Jigsaw in that?
I think Jigsaw's a hard character to replicate
to
begin with, so I didn't think it was too bad, but I don't know how you could really do a great Jigsaw. It's kind of tough.
I like Ray Stevenson. I like the guy who played Punisher.
He's good in certain things. He's good in certain things.
He was in Rome, and he came in, and he was what's his name in Thor too. I like him. I liked him enough that I watched it. But you're right, Dominic West as Jigsaw was just
Stevenson was really good in Dexter too.
Yes.
Yeah.
He played the Russian
gay Russian
psycho,
hitman there. Yeah, and
Ukrainian played that Ukrainian.
Was
guy?
he Ukrainian? He was just really good.
Dexter kills his boyfriend.
Yeah.
One of the worst seasons of Dexter ever, but hey, he did a good job.
He did a good job. Yeah, it really was one of the worst. That I got to tell you, really after John Lithgow, it went way downhill. After that,
season 2 and 4. Seasons 2 and 4. They spent the other 6 years trying to replicate seasons 2 and 4. Season 2 was probably one of the best, seasons of a series. Period. Where the cat and mouse game with Dokes, but season 4 with Lithgow, that they spent the rest of their time trying to
surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah, and what they would do with that is they would rearrange the so you'd get these previews for the next episode, and they would rearrange it so that it always looked like Dexter was moments away from being caught, and then it never happened. It was great marketing, and then they came out with New Blood, which that was just dumb.
Yeah.
They don't need to go back to that well again.
And I don't know about everybody else. I fucking hated his sister as a character. I also didn't like her acting, the actor.
Jennifer Carpenter?
Sister. Yeah, I could not stand her acting. There's nothing worse than hearing somebody talk like they're a grown-up. And every time she cussed, it sounded like somebody trying to act like they're grown-up. It was just annoying. People who aren't good at cussing, trying to cuss. It's like people who don't know how to smoke trying to smoke on camera. It just looks weird. And so I'm not a fan of hers. But
I fucking hate when people fucking do that. That's fucked up.
She created new words with the F-bomb. Like she used
if anybody didn't catch that, he was being a smartass.
Problem with Punisher movies though
could have done it in Spanish.
The problem with Punisher movies is
they're not good.
Well, that and the fact that I don't know if they're. Here's the thing: when the Punisher character first came out, it was unique in comics. It was Amazing Spider-Man 129. It was unique in comics. That kind of anti-hero with that kind of violence and firearms and thing was unconventional as far as comic books goes. And even when you first released the movie in 2004, it was sort of revolutionary. But since then, you've had The Matrix, you've had John Wick, you've had movies that are pretty much made that their thing. And
Made
even
from like
though
that same, it's like that same vein in this,
yeah, it's
Right.
not. It's like the reason why the Matrix movies fail. Like every Matrix movie that you release from this point on is going to fail, no matter how good it is because back in 1999 we had flip phones. Some people were still carrying around brick phones and everything else. The bullet cam technology hadn't been introduced. Now we have a 10-year-old kid has better technology on his phone than they used in 1999 to make the Matrix. It just doesn't compel you as something different that you got to go see, or it's hard to write a unique story when we see this stuff every day. It's just like, okay, a vigilante going and kill people. That's literally John Wick. Just add the dog. Even though it's comic book collectors, the Punisher is a unique character. Now you have to sell this to the masses, and it just basically becomes another guy shooting a lot of people.
Okay, so yes and no. This is just my opinion, and it's nice to meet you. I haven't met you, William, before.
Nice to meet you too.
I get what you're saying, but if anything, the last year has proven is that they're kind of like taking they're going back to the retro, right? With what works. Top Gun, Sisu. I think Sisu is a great example too, of like setting it back in its period. You don't have to, or a movie that doesn't have to be made for exorbitant amount of money. And I think they could do that with Punisher if they get the right writer and the right creative team, the right director, and of course the right star. I just saw Kandahar, and I got to tell you, man, that movie is incredible. I was totally surprised how good it was, because it works on that Gerard Butler action level, but then it actually has a lot of dramatic guts to it, and just the messages of like of all these factions murdering the shit out of each other right now, and all in the name of God. Some heavy stuff. I was not expecting that, and it was just so well done. Going off on another tangent here with one of the stars, Travis Fimmel, is in it, and I'm the biggest Travis Fimmel fan. It's like, I'd like to see him take on maybe some sort of like anti-hero, because his work as Ragnar in Vikings. It's like, this is a shame this guy is not working more.
Yes,
And,
absolutely.
Yeah, man. But I hear what you're saying about the going back to the technology point. You're absolutely right. That's why I think go back. You're absolutely right, which is why I think Indiana Jones is going to ultimately fail, because it's too big.
Well, and a lot of these movies exist, especially when you're going back and you're reintroducing things. A lot of these things are largely dependent upon the environment that they were released in, like The Crow. You can make the best Crow movie ever. It could be Scorsese level Crow movie. It doesn't mean that it'll resonate, because a lot of what The Crow was 1994, 1995. The music, the soundtrack, the atmosphere that you were sitting in when that movie took hold cannot necessarily be recreated now. See, with The Punisher, it's different because The Punisher was created as an accent piece. He was never created as a star character. He evolved into one, but if you look at the best stuff that you'll get from The Punisher, in my opinion today, it's alongside Daredevil. It's alongside things like that, because that's by design with the character. If you separate the Punisher away from a superhero, as far as being an action character, he then becomes, to me, generic. He just becomes that other guy shooting people. And even if you switch the story around, oh, the drug dealer killed my so-and-so, I got to go get him. Everything is jaded. I mean, it just, once you separate him from the Daredevil, he's not revolving around that. He becomes to the point where you almost have to write him a generic way. Because like I said, it's those other characters that made him special. Unless you're on a comic book. A comic book is different. When you're reading a comic book, it's just a different feel.
Yeah,
and
it's almost not fair. Yeah, to compare it to
That's one of the greatest points. That's one of the greatest points. One of the slowest episodes in season 2 of Daredevil is when they're on that roof, but it's my favorite episode of Daredevil. Why? Because you have that interaction between Daredevil and he's calling him Red instead of calling him Daredevil. He's like, no, Red, because you do half measures. You don't go all the way. And it's just them talking. Yeah. Just those two guys arguing about how you deal with the problem. You do half measures. I take care of the problem. I end the problem. I finish the problem. I punish the people that have done wrong. All you do is beat them up and turn them over to the cops. You don't clean up the problem. It's all half measures. That is in my opinion, the greatest episode of Daredevil on Netflix was that one episode with him and Frank on the rooftop, and it's just them two going back and forth, fighting,
really did
doing their
good
argument.
Watching that, I agree with you.
William said something about the zeitgeist. You can't duplicate that, and you're absolutely right. Because I remember what theater. Remember what music I was listening to, with The Crow, also with The Matrix, is that those incredible soundtracks of all these different bands, and all these different DJs. I mean,
Stone Temple Pilot, a lot of mainstream bands. That soundtrack alone is probably one of the great soundtracks of all time, and it was because it was that post-grunge alternative era, and it fell right in. And then,
even Blade had great music.
It's the same as when you're looking at the Mortal Kombat soundtracks or Hackers or Spawn. It is a music and generational soundtrack of its time, and it fits so well in. Especially that's why the 90s can never be repeated, as Paulie's saying with the Zeitgeist. The problem is, I don't think we have to repeat it. We have to make it a template on what worked and then adapt it to today's day and age while you're hitting that generation that doesn't seem to understand it. But we're getting, as Loki says, these sensitive test screenings, and we're taking everything out that made that template so fantastic. And what we get left, pretty much a baby wipe on your ass called entertainment.
Yeah.
By
the way, I'm running a poll right now, guys.
You're on a poll?
I'm running a poll right here. It's on the screen.
Get your dollars ready.
That poll in your backyard or your back door?
In my backyard and my back door. Fuck you, Paul.
Jerry's backdoor poll.
Who is your favorite movie Punisher? Is it Ray Stevenson? Fuck you, Paulie. I love you, dude. Ray Stevenson is the Punisher. Dolph Lundgren as the Punisher. Or Thomas Jane as the Punisher. Those are the three movie choices we got. Right now, Dolph Lundgren's at 50%.
So my dudes, my girlfriend's out of town, so I watched the entire second season of Rome, because I hadn't seen it in years, but I was on a kick watching all kinds of Cleopatra stuff. So I'm like, let me go see the Cleopatra. But Ray Stevenson, man, is just, that guy's got so much range, and I'm actually looking forward to his character in Ahsoka. I'm not looking forward to Ahsoka, but I don't know if that makes sense. I'm looking forward to seeing him.
I'm not looking forward to their attempt at it, but I do love the character. I love the actors that are in it. So I'm going to give it a watch. I'm just not going to do it through Disney.
Yeah, that's fair.
It does make sense, Paulie. It's like people who want to see Keaton in the Flash, but they don't want to support the Flash. It's the same shit.
Great example.
I don't know about this right here. You could still make a Crow movie. It's still possible to make a Crow movie, but it's here's the thing. It's gonna have to fit it to be successful, to fit 2023 to the point where you take a lot of what made the Crow special, and now it's a different movie. And in which case, why don't you just make a different movie? You're just basically slapping a name. And here's one thing that's very distinctive that made the Crow. There's a difference between The Crow being a really quick to VHS at the time and being the $50 million hit that it was, and that's Brandon Lee dying. And
the urban legend attached to The Crow in general is what also makes it so magical. I hate using that word, but it is true. It has attached itself its own urban legend.
Yeah, if he doesn't die, that movie comes out, makes a little bit of money, sells a couple, a lot of soundtracks, but it's not what it was. There was a lot of people that I knew, that went to go see, didn't even know the Crow existed as a character. They didn't even know that the character was a comic book character. that went to go see that movie because of Brandon Lee and the legacy of Bruce Lee and the curse, everything else. So now you're trying to remake so many things that don't exist now. That to make The Crow. And another thing, back in the 90s, we still did soundtracks. Now sound scores are more prevalent. When's the last time how many times you see something highlighted by a video with the motion picture soundtrack of? Remember, that used to be a big deal in the 90s. Guns N' Roses.
Well, the first movie to really have an issue with it was Heavy Metal, and then they ran into legal issues with Batman.
I think it kind of died out with what was that? I think Linkin Park was probably the last band I can remember. That was with Transformers. That was actually a highlighted thing. It wasn't actually.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Video, but Linkin Park was very heavily prevalent in all the Transformers films.
Miami Vice too.
Yeah,
Miami Vice was 2006 too.
Absolutely, the music made that show popular.
For the last 4 or 5 years, soundtrack's been huge on vinyl. They sell out like that, whether it's older movies, whether it's current movies, whether it's superhero movies, whether it's old Godzilla movies. They'll do a limited print vinyl run of 1,000 to 2,000 records. They're going like that. I've got a white album for the first 2 seasons of Westworld. They're over $1,000 a piece.
Mm-hmm.
I paid like $30 for them. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And people want them and will buy them.
Well, let's go back to 89 with Batman, because you had 2 albums that got released. The first album that went out as the soundtrack was actually Prince's music. And there was no Dance. Yeah, Bat Dance. And then there was a call for, we want the Danny Elfman album. Finally, they released that one. I don't know how to take that one because the studio was not prepared. And that's why they got released separately like that. I don't think they even intended to release Danny Elfman's soundtrack. It took almost a year.
Well, Prince was a huge star at that.
Oh yeah,
point.
That was where their money was going to be made. Period.
So the MTV generation was still going on, so they were really banking on those songs. They just didn't. I like those songs, but they definitely weren't like his best.
Party Man.
I got to throw a quick counter. A counter
What's
argument.
that?
My apologies, Paulie. A counter argument to the King's Porter here. Music does make a film, and I can throw out Moulin Rouge for a second there, or Cats. Not the new Cats, but stuff like that. Music is a high principal part of a film. If you don't have the right music, like we can look at Mandalorian and how that music setting was going and how that was planned out. If the music doesn't fit the film, it can also destroy the film. I think they go hand in hand. If you don't have a good soundtrack, whether it be a known band or an orchestra, the movie is not as powerful as it does. Music is in gaming. It's in everything. It is mandatory to be good.
Okay.
The music was there before the vocals was.
Yeah.
If you go back to the origin of film, music's always been there before they even had vocals.
Break.
Oh, commercial break. I'm sorry, guys.
Commercial break.
KGRA Radio Digital Broadcasting needs to do their commercial break. And we want to thank our KGRA audience for sticking with us. Alrighty, guys, we'll be right back. Hi, guys, this is Gerry from Pop Culture Minefield here on KGRA, and we're leaving for our first break. I hope we survive.
Did you know 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated? If you struggle with focus, run low on energy, or when it's time to finally sleep, you simply can't, this can all be linked to dehydration, and Fuel Up has the answer. Our proprietary formula contains the finest cellular hydration with the strongest immune-enhancing natural ingredients. The Fuel Up system is made up of 3 different incredibly tasting varieties. Wake kickstarts your day with a jolt of caffeine. Play boosts focus while hydrating your cells. Rest not only helps you relax, but also rejuvenates your cells while you sleep. Here's what our clients have to say.
I really don't miss my coffee, and you can tell the difference.
So I'm gonna take it for the energy. I'm gonna take it for the play. I'm gonna take it, all day.
And it works. That's the thing. It works. We love it.
Take the Fuel Up Challenge now, where we offer a Feel the Difference money-back guarantee. Fuel Up for life.
Hey members, The new KGRA DB app is now available on iOS and Android devices. Gain on-demand access to any KGRA DB programming. Download any show directly to your mobile device to listen or watch on the go. Go to the App Store and search KGRA DB.
Oh, wow, we survived. Welcome back to the commercial break. Now for some more Pop Culture Minefield on KGRA. Pop Culture Minefield.
Another way to look at this
What is
too.
with that guy?
Tron Legacy and Tron, both films that needed that music. If Daft Punk wasn't there for Legacy, I don't think it would have been as great as it was, especially with that remix contest they had that brought out a lot of new people like Glitch Mob and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
even Blade Runner, Blade Runner 2049.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Blade Runner because I wanted to show this. When Blade Runner came out, there was no official soundtrack for a while. And then they released this. And this is not Vangelis's music. This was overseen by, I forget his name, a keyboardist for Frank Zappa, oversaw the production. And it was a bunch of other musicians that were not the official music from the film. Bought it and was not happy with it. And it took 25 years before we finally saw... No, 30 years before we saw a formal release of the music by Vangelis in a box set. And it was amazing.
Okay,
And
very
lucky.
Would Flash and Highlander be the cult classics that they are without the
Queen
soundtrack
soundtrack.
from Queen?
Yeah. No, I can't argue with you on that one because that really did help sell that show.
Did you guys do the super chat yet?
No.
No, not yet, because Magitech Mags sent a $5 super chat saying happy birthday to me. Thank you, Mags. I love you. Hope you're having a good week.
I was just mentioning it because Gary Mags posted on Twitter, I believe yesterday or the day before. She was all dolled up and she went out, on the town with her parents or something, right?
Yeah.
And she looked like a fox, man. So here's the
she's
Mags.
gorgeous. She is gorgeous.
Mags, man. God bless women. Boom. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Hell
like
yeah.
I tease her a lot because she looks like the girl from The Good Place, the actress.
Kristen Bell.
Yeah, Kristen Bell. She looks a lot like her, but
Oh,
the
yeah,
fact is,
yeah.
she is. I tell her all the time. I said, "You are so beautiful. If you ever decide
She's
to
a cutie.
really do a show, you will get so many followers, just because of how pretty you are." In fact, I'd love her to be on our show. She could draw on a bigger audience. But Jamie just did a super chat. The Crow, Hackers, Miami Vice, especially Blade Runner, all inspirations in terms of aesthetics, soundtrack, etc. for Voltaic Blood. Now on Kickstarter. Please consider Happy Birthday, Gary. Who the fuck's this Gary?
I don't know, but Jaime's new
you,
project.
Jamie.
Yeah, Jaime's new project looks incredible. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I need to get him on my stream, but yeah, it's Voltaic Blood. Check out his Instagram. He just launched it, so it's great that this independent creator is doing something. So
You're talking about Jamie here or Jaime?
Jaime, yeah,
Jaime.
Jamie, Jaime.
Jaime, send him an invite. Send
Yeah,
him an invite
check
to
it
join
out.
us here. Maybe you can play something for us. But
I'll tell you what, that soundtrack for Blade Runner from Voltaire is so iconic. It's absolutely beautiful. If you can get it, there's some of the best, just cool, chill listening tunes you'll ever hear.
I'm a big fan of the soundtrack because a lot of people don't know this, that when Vangelis was working with Ridley,
Vangelis. I said Voltaire. Sorry.
That's okay.
I said
It's
Voltaire. It's
forgivable.
Vangelis.
You're not going to hell for it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But when some people call him Vangelis, I've always said Vangelis, so that's how I say it. But when he did the soundtrack, he was really troubled over how to get the sound because he wasn't just creating music; he was creating the overall atmosphere of Blade Runner, and he knew that. And he went in there, and finally one day he met with Ridley and played a sample, and Ridley almost shit himself. It was so good. And so Vangelis, because he's done soundtracks, like everybody
Chariots of
remembers
Fire.
Chariots of Fire, man. Come on. What a great soundtrack. But in Blade Runner, he is the blood of Blade Runner. He's the heart pumping in that film. And Sid Mead is the visual blood, and Vangelis is the auditory blood of that film. And without either of those, that film wouldn't have worked.
Same thing with 2049, be honest with you. What Hans Zimmer does, and see, the thing about a musical story,
he does a good job of replicating Vangelis.
Yeah,
a perfect job.
I think he uses Vangelis as a launching pad and explodes from there. The escalation and de-escalation of the scenes via the sound score that Hans Zimmer does better than anybody else, it's showcased in 2049. You know where you're at in the story, and the way they engineered the sound. When we saw it, you got the whole Dolby Surround sound. It gets louder and it escalates. And like when the death scene where he's killing Love, spoiler alert, it's been 6 years. But the way that Seawall may be one of the best pieces of sound score I've ever heard. And that whole thing when you buy the album, but the way he escalates it, it just climbs. It climbs and it brings the intensity with you. You don't even know you're being taken on a roller coaster ride because Hans Zimmer's got you hooked into this wave, and that's why I mean
it's one of the few soundtracks that I commended him on, because I can't stand a lot of his modern soundtracks. His older stuff is much better. Batman worked because of the feeling of that film. Superman, Man of Steel didn't work.
Dunkirk works though. Dunkirk
is actually really good. I agree with you on that one. 2049, despite the fact that I have very strong feelings about 2049 and where it fell apart for Blade Runner.
Oh,
oh yeah. If you don't know who I am, I'm the founder of the Blade Runner fan club. I'm the guy. I started
Am I a member
that
of
shit.
your club already? I think I might be a member of your club.
We don't charge for it. It's free. And we call it the bladezone.com, the number one Blade Runner website in the world. I don't run it anymore. It's run by my buddy, another Gerry Willoughby. And in fact, in a couple of weeks, we're going to have some of the crew. I don't know about cast this time. I just wanted to get people from behind the scenes on Blade Runner. They're going to join us for our talking about Blade Runner, the final cut. And David's going to be there. Let's see. Mark Stetson's invited. I don't know if he's able to make it, but David is the art director for the film. Katie Haber, there wouldn't be a Blade Runner without her. And let's see, Vicky was first or second unit DGA trainee, and she's got great Harrison Ford stories. And I'm also got Paul Salmon, who wrote the book Future Noir: The Making of Blade Runner, going to be joining us. And we're going to really go in depth about the final cut. I take pride in the fact that the final cut came about because of Gerry Willoughby's and my work. In fact, I introduced Charlie Deslarica, the producer of the video, the movie production, to Drew Struzan, the artist who did the final cut artwork. And so we're featured on the special features of the movie because of all the work that we did. And I helped two of the documentaries that were made previously too, especially the Channel 4 one. What was that one called? On the Edge of Blade Runner. Because I introduced what's his name? Kermode. His name is Kermode. Yeah, his name is actually Kermode, the director of that film. And he's big over on the BBC, not so big here in the US. But I got to introduce him to the cast and crew, and it's one of those cool things that I have that in my hip pocket all the time to pull them onto the show. But somebody asked me if I'd ever interviewed Harrison Ford. I thought, fuck no. I would never interview that guy. I'm terrified of Harrison Ford. I wouldn't even try. That guy scares the shit out of me. He's so cranky. I'm cranky, and he's cranky.
Double cranky.
Yeah, it's like this would not bode well for either of us.
Speaking of being cranky, hello, Gerry. It's good to see
Brandon,
you.
how are you doing, buddy?
I am doing well. I don't have much time. I just wanted to stop by, say hi, wish you a happy birthday, and say hello to all of my friends that are here today. It's always good to see you, even though I am not around as much as I would like to, but hopefully that'll change.
Yeah, I've been complaining to Pat about that.
Yeah, I do. But what can I do? I do what I can.
Oh, Mr.
Yes,
Brandon.
that's right. It's me. So happy birthday to you, my friend, and
Thank you.
Keep getting better,
Thanks,
keep
buddy.
getting awesome, and to everyone else that's here, keep being awesome. Go see the stuff that's cool. Shun the stuff that isn't cool, and collect physical media. What more can I say other than that? Collect.
That's why
what
nobody
you love.
watches this show, because I'm not cool.
Well, you are cool. You are. So, anyways, I gotta take off.
Yeah,
Cool?
listen to Paulie.
Yes,
Listen to
he's
Paulie.
cool.
I am not
Paulie,
cool.
he's cool. Hey, Paulie.
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool. Loki's cool.
Oh,
Fat's all right. Das Wolfen, I like. Brandon, yeah, all right. Hermano Martin, William is cool. Gary is not cool.
Thank you.
Yeah,
There you go.
not
There's a quick rating right there from Latino Slant.
Yeah. I'll take it. I was always a C student in the school, so I'll take the average. I'll take it. So.
What he means is he was always
just
seen
fucking
as a
around.
student.
That's right. Anyways, I got to get my butt back to work before I start having people yelling at me. So I'll
All right,
see you all
Brandon.
later. Take
Bye,
care.
Brandon.
Thanks
Easy,
for
Brandon.
dropping in, buddy.
Brandon.
See ya.
Peace out, brother.
But anyway, we will have that special, and I'm hoping to get more of the crew on the film. I want to avoid the actors, even though Vicky keeps wanting me to ask one of the actors on the show, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. There's another actor I won't ask on because I love her. She's great. She'll call me every once in a while, just out of the blue, but she is hard to wrangle during a talk show. When we're doing interviews, and she'll just sort of like wander off and ask questions that have nothing to do with anything anybody's talking about. It's like, oh
Yeah,
my
but she's a
God.
sweetheart, though.
She is. She's amazing, but she is just out there sometimes. But I'm looking forward to doing it. I don't know, when am I doing it? May 27th, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, May 27th is when we're doing the Blade Runner Final Cut discussion with some of the crew from Blade Runner. I don't think I'm going to have any of the cast on. I'm just going to have the crew on there. And that'll be a lot of fun. I don't know if any of you guys love Blade Runner. It'll be a fun talk. But anyway, 2049, my problem with 2049 was they made, for as great as the idea was, and I do like it, it's a better written story than Blade Runner. I liked the casting in the film. I loved the acting. I loved everything about the film. The problem was it lacked the proper DNA to be a proper sequel. And it's because he chose a different way of shooting. And so therefore it visually doesn't line up with Blade Runner. And I think that's the only big mistake I have. Gerry, on the other hand, the other Gerry, he hated 2049.
Wow.
He just hated it.
It doesn't feel like Blade Runner to me.
That's it. It doesn't have the DNA. It lacks the DNA.
I feel it as somebody who saw the original in the theater. I feel it, to me personally, it augments the first one. In my opinion, this is somebody who carried the original with me like a religious artifact for 35 years. I think Blade Runner 2049 to me is a superior movie in every way, and that's not a knock against the original. To me, it augments it surrounds the original.
The only thing I give it is it's got a better story. I think that the story is more solid, but I blame that on Jerry Princhio and Bud Yorkin because they kept interfering with Ridley making the film. But push comes to shove. It's a good film. It's just to me, I don't see that because I was there too. I went to the opening day, 1982. Yeah. It's my number one favorite film of all time. Blade Runner. Number two is The Thing. In fact, the top 5 films are John Carpenter and Ridley Scott on my top 5 list. Favorite films of all time. And they'll never be moved.
What do you guys think about the monologue from Harrison Ford, or no monologue? So you got
the narration. Look,
it has to be there for me.
The only problem, and we talked about this we did the 1982 theatrical cut, and we talked about it a week ago. And I said my problem with it was that one fucking moment it was wrong, and that is when Roy Batty dies and Deckard's looking at him, and then the narration starts too soon. It needed to go at a different time because the pacing on that made it clunky and it's intrusive. It's the only moment where the narration was intrusive to the moment, because you want to feel that moment and you're taken out of it by the narration. And it's the only time I didn't like it. The rest of the narration I felt was necessary, and I always felt bad that they hated it so much they took it out of the director's cut, which is not really a director's cut, and the final cut, which Ridley was actually involved with Charlie Deslarica.
But it's in
Charlie,
my favorite version, the international cut. Which I have that's my
well,
favorite.
look, that's the only look. The international cut is the actual theatrical cut. Yeah. The last minute, Ridley was forced to make edits, which included altering the look of him killing Tyrell. They did it with red filters in the American release in order to avoid the X rating. And so you couldn't see the blood. They shot it in red or put a red filter over the print. And they cut it short. And it just doesn't feel the same. When you watch the international cut, it's the same film with the R-rated stuff not taken out. And it's just R-rated. They should have never threatened it with an X. Stupid. Because within 2-3 years, the stuff that was in Blade Runner was everywhere.
Yeah. Or Red Dawn. Red Dawn was a PG-13 movie with kids getting slaughtered in the.
It should have been an R.
Yeah. That is PG-13 is a sham rating. The only reason that they created that rating is because they didn't want that brat pack of actors to have to go through an R rating to see them. But Red Dawn was the first one to actually hit the theater that was PG-13. It's a sham rating. You watch the first 5 minutes of Red Dawn, dude, they're killing people, shooting them at point blank with AKs. There's minors getting killed, hanging out of the window, dead with open wounds in their head. That's not a PG-13, but they wanted
you to be PG-13.
Charlie Sheen. They wanted you, those teenagers that they were marketing towards the whole St. Elmo's Fire crowd. They realized they would lose revenue if they made that an R-rated movie, and kids or parents in the 80s were more hesitant to let their kids go by themselves to a movie like that. So they made this sham rating so that they could capitalize on that money. That's the only reason why PG-13 exists. It's a compromise.
And no other film producer director could have that kind of power like Steven Spielberg. Nobody, MPA would not work directly with producers directors that way. I always thought that was unfair what he got to have happen. And he single-handedly helped create PG-13. And it's always bothered me about that. And by the way, if you've never seen this film is not yet rated. That is a great film on the criticism of the MPAA and how it bullies the industry, especially independent filmmakers. Ridley, I tell you what, if Ridley Scott or Spielberg in particular has a problem in a film, MPAA will give him notes. But they won't do that for independent filmmakers. They'll go, this scene here doesn't work. It's a problem. Well, what do we need to do to it? That's up to you. Do something and send it back to me. It's like, that is just such a shitty thing to do to a filmmaker. Not explain to them what they need to change in order to make you happy. And that's the failure of MPAA. Not a fan. Hey, Matt Vader's here. Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
But and hey, Jaime, it's cool, man. Liking Blade Runner 2049 is fine. I liked it. I have problems with its connection to Blade Runner.
That just tells you all film is subjective, because to me it's like
it is subjective.
It's now one whole movie for me. I look at the Blade Runner franchise as one whole movie, is equal parts to me now.
I am with you 100%, William. I cannot watch one without watching the another.
Yeah, it's just
has to be back to back.
Back to back, huh? It sounds like you don't know how to do things back to back.
Wow.
I got William on here because Poindexter doesn't do panel shows anymore, Monkey Jiva says.
It's a tough situation, simple because with Enosh's absence, temporary absence, it's the type of shows he was good at was panel shows, whereas the type of shows I think I'm good is 3 to 4 people at a time. As far as me hosting them, it just is a lot easier for me to, dictate the pace of the show and not have it get out of control. I'm just not talented at having 5, 6, 7 people. It's just some people are really good at it and some people are. I'm just not. Maybe I'll get better.
It looks like our poll is over. I'm going to go and end it. It ended with Thomas Jane in second place, Ray Stevenson in third, and Dolph Lundgren won the poll. And I got to tell you, I watched that movie in the theater too. I watched that one in the theater. I was kind of weirded out by it because it's an odd film. But I think that he gave it a good gamer of a try.
So
Gossett was...
When did that come out? 88, 89?
89, I think. 89. Louis Gossett Jr. was in it. It suffered to the standard B movie production values is really what hurt that film. The other thing, there is a great scene in that film that still sticks with me to this day where the lady in charge of the Yakuza is shitting on the Italian mobster. And she turns to him and says, my people were organizing nations while your people were still fucking goats. And it's like really intense scene. If you've never seen that movie, go watch it. It's the Dolph Lundgren Punisher. He also did something nobody else did. He refused to get sunlight during the lead up into the production, so he would be very pale.
Hey, we have a new member.
E. Clay Thomason. What's up, my friend?
Thank you.
I don't know. Martin has kids. Gerry pretty much sure he knows how to do things. Yeah, it's a fact. I have enough kids to prove that I know what I'm doing. Stop doing it. Pop Culture Minefield, thanks for posting the Subway video. Now my happy mood is gone, you dick. Hey, anytime, man. Anytime. I love ruining people's days, so your day is shitty as mine.
Jeez.
Wow. You're really effective.
So, but anyway, let's talk about a couple of things. We already talked about Indiana Jones. Does anybody else have any opinion on what's going on with these numbers and the low reviews? It was like 38% the last time I saw it.
It's 50 now.
Is it up to 50?
Was this a critics rating?
That's the critics rating. There's no audience rating at this point.
Okay. Listen, critics ratings, I have as much use for those as used toilet paper.
Very much.
And
I agree wholeheartedly. I think
they just
they're
have
garbage.
different criteria. They have different criteria than I do.
And it's the audience's far better barometer to go by with a film. I'm not saying it's perfect, but I'm saying they're a far better barometer to know if you're going to have a good time watching the film. So I'm waiting for that. I don't think this is going to be a good film. I think it's going to be crap. I'm hearing nothing but good things for the Flash.
I see that on Monday.
I'm probably going to try to see it this week too. I really do want to see it. I might go this weekend, Sunday, but it all depends.
Well, Flash doesn't drop till June, so.
Oh, I thought it was out right now.
No, we got pre-screenings on Monday. The pre-screenings start on Monday. We got some. We got one going.
Okay.
We got about 3 or 4 of those starting on Monday.
Can we highlight the funny point that Galaxy Star Cruiser Hotel got Elton John concert like Bob Chapek at the Cannes Film Festival? Kathleen and all that crew goes to do the Cannes Festival, and Galaxy gets announced to shut down. It got Elton John like Bob Chapek did. That's the funny part.
You know, I heard Kathy sent Iger a crate of Viagra, but that couldn't keep it up. So they still lost. They still lost.
Films too.
You know, a lot of people have tried, including Keith, has tried to defend Chapek, and I'm like, look, I never liked Chapek, and I always predicted that Bob Iger was going to come back. But the fact is Bob Iger created the problem. Chapek couldn't fix it. But worse than that, Bob Iger had gotten Kathleen Kennedy off of Star Wars. He had her working on side projects. And when Chapek took over, he told her to get off those projects and get back onto Star Wars. So Star Wars started to righten itself, and then it fell back over. And that's why we're dealing with what we're dealing with now, is too much involvement with people who don't know anything about Star Wars.
It's kind of sad that the last two, well, technically three chairmen of Disney, it really makes you miss Michael Eisner.
You know, and he was a functional idiot, you know.
Yeah.
People at the time, people weren't really high on him.
I didn't like him because it was all because of The Lion King. Is why I didn't like him, because all of us knew that he stole that from Kimba.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, stop lying. And then he got caught in it when he called the character Kimba in an email. It was like, oh, you liar. He got busted in his own messaging. But anyway, what was the other thing we're going to talk about? What was that? I know we're going to talk about Indiana Jones. No. Okay.
Zasloff.
Oh yeah, Zasloff says the future of streaming bundles. Bundles is the future of streaming, and I got to tell you, the guy is writing the book right now on how to do this shit. He took a company that was in complete loss and brought it up. They're now over by 50 million. And so, and this fits right into what Keith and I predicted.
HBO Max is up by 50. The company's still billions in debt, but
Warner's still in debt.
He's got time to fix that though.
But I believe he's going to. I think that some of the mistakes he's making may still work out. I don't know. I have my doubts with James Gunn, but I'm willing to wait and see. I'm not going to give up on like I did with Disney. I'm going to stick it out and see what they're going to do. But, you know, Keith and I talked about this way before the outbreak, that streaming is going to be the future of a lot of cinema because people like to stay home and watch movies. And you're going to see a lot of that. We have already seen it through Amazon, Netflix. These production companies are making their own in-house films, and they do want to have nominations for them. So therefore, you're seeing Netflix and Amazon both doing limited release on films that they produce, because it has to have that limited release in order to be included in the Oscars. And Polly, do you know how many theaters?
Is it me or is your sound fucked up?
Yeah,
okay, that was what I was
sharing.
going to ask.
Yeah, I was
Gerry,
just.
you're still sharing your screen.
Is that what it is? All right.
Still, yeah.
There we go. Stop sharing.
And just take yourself off camera too. That'll help a lot.
Hey, I'm not doing it because you want me to. Fuck you.
Would help with the lady viewership, though.
Wow.
Steven, you are so important.
Is this better?
That's a way better. Oh my god.
You're pushing it, John.
Isn't this Gary's show?
It's not my show.
It's like the Gerry channel.
I have no control over this show. And but
what was your question?
I forget what the question was.
We're talking about streaming, how it's the future, and the
oh yeah, no. I was
pre-pandemic
asking Paul what you thought about what David Zaslav said.
What? That,
With is it it again? I'm not.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Why don't you pop out, pack it up, pack back in. So what was he saying, Loki? No, it's not better.
You were saying, what do you think about what David Zaslav said about the streaming bundles?
I don't think any of these guys know. They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
No, I thought Prime had a nice idea when it was like, here, you can get Paramount over here, you can get this over here, you can get HBO over here, you can basically a la carte your menu of what you can stream through Prime, but even that hasn't really worked out all that well for Amazon.
I think the only thing I'm really curious is what's more successful, appointment television, the weekly drop, or the binge. Because some people like the binge, some people don't. There's a new TV show on Amazon that I'm watching. I think they just dropped it all. And there's something to be said about, kind of that gradual momentum and getting, we're talking about the zeitgeist, getting a show into the zeitgeist. It has no chance if you just drop it all at once, and then you're talking about it for maybe a week or two, and then on to the next. Cobra
the
Kai
question
suffered
I was
that.
asking you was,
and
one question I asked you, Paulie, was how many theaters do they need to release into for them to be eligible for Oscars, to be included into the Oscars? That's it.
Actually,
just two.
Technically just one, and it needs to run for 2 weeks. It's got to be a hold on.
And it doesn't have to be a theater in Los Angeles County.
It has to be like a sanctioned, Academy approved theater, which could mean LA or New York.
Okay. Because I know that Netflix and Amazon are both adhering to that with their movies now that they're
starting
producing.
to. Yep.
Yeah.
That's but as far as their TV shows, I think the appointment television is shows are going to start doing that. Obviously the ones that are bad, they're just going to either not air them, right? Powerpuff Girls, they're not airing.
Yeah.
Or they're going to just dump it and then just get rid of it, like Willow and
like they're doing with Echo.
And Echo.
Yeah, Echo got dumped this week. It's not going to air on Disney Plus. Yeah, that was what I just heard this week.
No,
I just saw it in the news this week. That's what I'm saying.
Well, no,
I saw it in the news.
No, the announcement. When does Echo debut?
The announcement was Echo was going to be dropped as one lump sum of every episode on a Disney Plus. I think September. I could be.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
November 29th. It's actually even worse.
November. Okay.
Yeah, 29th. It's going to be released November 29th. Yeah, they chop and Willow. And someone asked on Twitter, why are they getting rid of it? Or they're going to bring it back. They're not going to bring them back. Once they're gone, they're gone. They don't want to pay anyone more money than they have to. They're losing so much money, the streamers. So when you have it on, that's actually one of the points of contention with the Writers Guild is that you're not paying us this antiquated contract that we have. We need to update. We need to get into this century. So it's like, okay, well, we're gonna cancel the show, and we're not gonna even run it. They did that with
no residuals, nothing.
Yeah, so no one gets residuals. Not even not just the actors. We're talking about anyone.
Can I ask a question with that? Related
anyone
to
above the line? Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have a question with that with Willow because I was one of the victims that actually watched it. Didn't they announce previously before the whole Hulu thing is that even before the WGA strike is that it was not going to be picked up or continued? That was already a precursor, and I think because it did not get good reception, it was not good.
It should have never been greenlit. See, a lot of these problems with these movies that and not just TV shows and movies in general. Let's bring up Shazam and Black Adam. You lost at the concept phase with some of these things. All right, you lost at the when you decided to greenlight Willow, you lost. That was a 30-some-odd year movie that the majority of people, just your generation, your median demographic, to where the 60 to 70% of your money is being made, was not going to connect. Most of them weren't even alive during that movie. And then you greenlit things like IPs like Black Adam, and even if you made the greatest movie of all time, did you do IP research to see if there was connection to these IPs? And I don't think that they're doing that. And so when these shows get axed, it seems like it's the end of the world, but no, they lost at the conception phase. When you thought of putting the money into Willow, that was a loss. Someone should have stood up in the room and said, no, let's not do this. If more people did that, you would have less of these things getting canceled. or bombing at the box office.
But the problem is, if we can look at Lucasfilm or even Disney and Marvel as a generalization, their whole concept of creativity is destroying the foundation and legacy of shows and franchises that have been around for 30 plus years. They're not taking.
You can do that and still make money though, but
but they're not. That's where I'm coming from. I'm singling out Disney right now. That's what I'm trying to say, is that they're not focusing on making money because their whole thing is cobwebbing everything that made these franchises good. It's like spending billions of dollars and then going, okay, we're going to throw it all in the garbage and we're just going to take what we want out of it and then deliver. That doesn't.
It's disposable. We've been saying that from the very beginning. It's disposable entertainment. It's not something that you're like, oh my God, I need to see this over and over and over again. No. Imagine if Disney said, look, we're not coming out with any DVDs, Blu-rays, anything for The Mandalorian, and then decides, you know what, we're going to lock it in the vault and we're never going to let anybody see it again. There's no DVDs. There's no physical media. It's only been on streaming. Imagine for the people that do like the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian, it's just gone. If you don't have it, there's no way to watch it because they've locked it up and said, you're never going to see it again. Imagine that. It's just gone. There's no archive. There's no anything. There's no way to watch it. We've been fighting for physical media for the last 10 years saying, get your physical media, keep your physical media. Don't throw away your DVDs. Don't throw away your Blu-rays. And now they can just go, you know what? Whether you like it or not, whether you liked Willow or not, it's gone. You're never going to see it again because it was a failure. There is no physical version. It's just gone. Welcome to 2020 streaming.
They have no concept of what it means to what physical media can do for them. It can actually create a niche, or you know what I mean? Like with cheesy B movies or C movies, you know what I'm talking about, where he had that cult following. They're not even doing that with their older franchises. With they used to open the vault, grab Cinderella now, grab Bambi now. You're not seeing any 4K box sets or any type of thing on the anniversary of these films unless it's like Return of the Jedi coming to theaters. They're not taking any consideration of the physical media market.
Not worth it.
Just the other day I did see at Target they had all of the old Disney movies. Now these weren't in 4K, these were Blu-rays, but they had all of them from Bambi to Cinderella to, I mean, it was like everything you could imagine on display for sale, but it was all the old stuff. It wasn't any of the new stuff. You didn't see like the live action anything. These were all the old movies on Blu-ray.
As somebody who likes physical media, and I got tons of it here, it's just not cost effective for them. It's not coming back because it's not cost effective. It's just it's a tough hit to take, but physical media, and I hope, because I love physical media and I love the random encounters you have at video stores when they were around and everything else. Mm-hmm. I'm a card carrying fan, but if someone runs it's just not cost effective. It's not worth it for them. It's not worth it.
Yeah,
to them, there's nothing better than a good steel book.
I 100% agree.
And that interaction you're talking about, it's one of the reasons why I know these guys right here. First time I ever met Keith in person.
That's why I opened a place like this.
I was at a it was a resale store. They had comics, they had games, they had movies, and I just happened to hear Keith talking, and I was like, I know that voice. I've heard that voice before. And I walk over, I'm like, you're Keith, you're on YouTube, right? And he looks at me, he's like, yeah. I'm like, well, Loki. And he goes, Loki. I'm like, dude, what's up? And yeah, no, you missed that. That's gone. And unless you go to some place like that, that's like just a resale store, you can't, you just don't get it. Or a comic book store that's still where you just walk in and it's a comic shop.
I agree.
Fortunately, not everybody's following that model, because I saw all of Yellowstone's on
I wasn't talking
on Blu-ray.
Yes. I would, like I said previously, I was just singling out Disney for that one, because people that would probably like the 4K things. And I kind of agree with what William's saying too, is they're not doing it not because they're stubborn, so they force people to the streaming service. So it does look viable. The problem is there's not enough content that they're coming out with to make it viable.
You know who killed the physical media market? Wasn't the corporations.
It was Lizzo.
No. Fans, consumers, the demand for physical media. If the demand for physical media were there, and it stayed there, then they would have no choice but to acquiesce. Even if they were trying to funnel you through, they would be forced to balance it out. But the demand, it's fandom, fans and customers are dictating the death of physical media more so than any corporation can.
Actually, I'm just checking my records now. Lizzo ate physical media.
Yeah, yes.
Ate.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Did I say that? Sorry.
No, that's right. That makes sense.
Yeah, Lizzo fans here. Sorry. Big fan.
But wait, at the same time, is it actually like the normal fan base, or is it the normies that are too lazy to go to the store because it's easier to press a binge model play?
That's demand, though. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, but that's the same thing as demand.
Because I think there's demand for both.
You have to look at it this way. Okay, so the average family of 4. So if you have a wife and 2 kids, and you're going to take them to a brand new movie, right?
Yep.
Once you get done with popcorn, gas, everything else, you're in for 3 digits or more.
Pretty much. That's it. Not if you go out for dinner ahead of time or after, or you go to the kids want
or the mistress or all the other things that get added on to a night out, right?
But that falls under the line of also the movie night, where it was an event for the family too.
But now you have multiple. So say if I have a movie, I have 2 movies I want to see.
Okay.
And I can only afford. I got a mortgage. I got power bills. I can only afford the one night out. So just by the fact of the economy, one's getting eliminated no matter how good it is.
Yep.
Also, with the streaming, it makes that choice easier because maybe in 45 days, I can have my egg, have my cake and eat it too.
Sorry.
Did I miss something? What do you guys do?
I don't know what Steven's doing.
I just said Ant-Man Quantumania. That's where I was making.
His gravitational field just absorbed Lizzo. That's what's going on with Steven.
Yeah, because I need one airplane that holds up.
His black hole swallowed up Lizzo.
Oh Lord.
I don't know how to take that one.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do, Gary. Yeah, you do. In your back door, cochino.
I guess the last thing before we end the show is going to be with Kevin Costner. We've all been hearing the rumblings going on that there was conflict over him wanting to spend more time with his family, and he didn't want to shoot the last 2 weeks of his contracted time on set. The conflict apparently was between him and Sheridan, and now the studio seems to have Paramount seems to have a problem with Sheridan, even though he's the only thing making the money right now. But they're saying he spends too much money, overspends, and they've got, and the shill media that's bought in through either favors or actual money are attacking Taylor Sheridan for this shit, and I think it's odd because he's got the only things that are getting good reviews on Paramount, and then we hear this week that Costner is not only leaving the show, he is and ending the series. It's ending the series. He's already working on another series, a film series called Horizon, and he's likening it to working on Dances with Wolves. That it's going to be this epic Western series, and it's going to be done over. It's a saga. It's going to be done over 4 movies. So it's basically like a mini series. I don't know if this is going to theater or what it's going to do. There's no explanation of that. But once again, he loves doing Westerns, and he wanted to get back to his roots of doing Westerns. So I think he used this excuse to go do his own thing and produce his own stuff.
So you mean we're finally getting a Wild World 2?
You know what? It's got a cult following.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? And digital effects are cheaper to do today.
Mm-hmm.
So
hey,
probably
you have a message from Keto Simple.
Hey, Dustin. Thanks, buddy. Thanks. Good, Gary.
And we have got a breach from Magitech, no less.
Oh, Magitech Mags. Yes. Let's give her a video. Which one should we do?
Orville.
Orville? All right, Orville. Here it comes.
Maybe we can get in through the back door.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
And Real Weight Nation is in the same bandwagon.
Oh, shit. Here you go. Let me do this one.
Car just pulled up to the back door.
It's quick.
And we have more congratulations to you.
Thank you, Zombie Box Reviews. Outstanding. Thank you very much. 1 year closer to 60. I'm tired of hearing about Yellowstone. As much as I love that show, I think it's run its course. I got to be honest with you. I think 1923 was a nice turn. They're going to get one more season, and then all of it's over. Nope, it's not, because apparently they've got Matthew McConaughey coming in to do a spin-off series. And I like Matthew, so I'm like, fuck it, I'm in. Hey, Polly, when are we going to get a new season of Lincoln
That's because
Lawyer?
you're gay. That's why you like him.
You're gay.
Gary wants his back door opened like he does.
When are we going to see some more Lincoln Lawyer, dude? I want to talk some more with you.
Let me ask you this, Gary. Let me ask you this. Do you prefer McConaughey naked with bongos or with just a thong and bongos?
The what?
Gary wants the monologue from the Lincoln commercials while he's pounding from behind.
I think that if it's a serious choice that I was given, I like naked Matthew McConaughey.
I told you. I told y'all. I told
That was
y'all.
super stinker.
You like that, Gary? He feels perfectly safe from behind. In my
hey, Gary, I think right now is a great time for me to take my shirt off and play some bongos for you.
Hey, yeah.
Bongo.
But seriously, when are we going to get a new season of Lincoln Lawyer?
Well, it got greenlit months ago.
Yeah, I know, but we haven't heard anything.
I'll ask the showrunner, but I gotta imagine, whatever got done. It's a good question because there was a lot.
And I like that show, and I enjoyed doing the discussion with you on that.
Yeah, I'll put it in my notes, man.
Put it in my notes, man. Things to
and we're
do.
talking. Yeah, I know. I'm like, we're talking about the TV iteration of the Lincoln Lawyer Kings. The McConaughey was the movie, but like 10 years ago, which was all right.
It was okay. Yeah, I love that series.
Yeah, it's actually more in sync with the novel, with the character, and that's always one that always gets by my radar as well.
And it's kind of sad, one thing, because Bosch is like his brother,
right?
The character Bosch, and it's not going to be in the series because they're different production companies, and that's kind of sad because I love Bosch. It's my other favorite show I like to watch. Also, the new show that they have on Freevee.
What is that
spinoff?
Bosch Legacy?
I think it is, and it's just basically Bosch under a new production house. Is all it is. Still Amazon, but
we had Calderon, the actor Paul Calderon on the show a couple months ago. He was one of the detectives in the film, in the TV show.
Right.
He was like with Bosch. It was like a Afro Latino gentleman.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
that actor. That actor's been around forever. So I'll, did I ask him? That'd be cool to find out if he's gonna be doing any more Bosch. But Lincoln Lawyer is good. There's
a damn good show
in the zeitgeist of of what the channel covers. There's that adventure western I've been telling everyone about, TV show called Murieta that's on Amazon Prime.
Is it good?
It's yes. It's in that same energy and vein of like a Sisu, Glorious Bastards. It's kind of like that hyper history spaghetti western feel.
Yeah, I just added it to my queue, so because I wasn't sure if I wanted to watch it, and I'm glad you gave it a good review.
Yeah, that you guys would dig. And then there's this brand new comedy that we've been waiting for called Primo, and that's on it just dropped, and it's a comedy set in San Antonio. A young man and his mom and 5 uncles. So I saw the first episode. That's pretty funny. I laughed out loud a few times. So that's in my radar as far as what the channel is, what we cover.
All right, added that one to my queue on Prime.
Hey, boss.
Very likable actors.
We have a super sticker.
We have
and
two
a
super chat and a super sticker, so let's get to that one. Zombie Box Reviews for £1.49 sterling. Super sticker is what? What is it,
It's
guys?
slice of birthday cake.
Thank you very much for the birthday wishes. Appreciate that, Zombie. And for you, I'm going to give you this insulting video.
How do you rate women so well?
I think of a man, and I take away reason and accountability.
Oh my God.
Such a soul-crushing moment because that look on her face like, what? Thank you very much,
your
Zombie.
heroes.
And then we had a super chat. Loki,
From
who's
Loki.
in the panel. Loki's Morning of Mischief, $20. Good grief. I'm not having sex with you, no matter how much I want
happy
to.
birthday.
Because
Happy
I would
birthday,
like to have sex with you a lot. No. Happy birthday, brother. Another year older, another year closer to getting a sloppy Joe. That's our new name for it, right, Loki?
That's right. Sloppy Joe.
Sloppy Joe. Sloppy Joe. Yeah. Adam Sandler. Can't beat it. And for you, I will play you this one, Loki.
I want to offer you a full promotion, right? Better hours, better pay, better parking space. In fact, Kyle's parking space. Hey, fuck you, Kyle. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Fuck you, Kyle.
I love that movie.
I laughed so hard at that film. It's seriously, check your brain at the door on that one. Just enjoy the silliness of that film.
Huh.
And
Jim Brown died.
Yeah, I just got that text right now.
What?
87 years old.
Oh.
No way.
Yep. Rest in peace, the GOAT. Rest in peace, legend. That's trending.
Yep.
Sports.
Oh man, Jim Brown.
End of an era.
He had been in ill health for quite a while, though. I didn't realize he was 87, though. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
He'd been around forever. He's
been around forever.
Yeah.
Dude, I loved watching him on UFC after football, dude. He was always commenting on the OG UFC when it first started.
You want to? Let's see. I want to share my screen, Gary. Can I share?
Yeah, share. Polly John
Jim
or
Brown.
I can do it. Share it. Let's see. Where's it at? There it is. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Ali, Jim Brown. Oh,
Bill
shit.
Russell.
That's Bill Russell on the end? Holy shit!
Bill Russell.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, this was a generation where that Jim Brown was a part of. Also, too, Sam Cooke, Martin Luther King, and Malcolm X. Not in this photo, but this generation of amazing, African Americans, whether they're in sports or politics, that were just broke a lot of barriers, man. I mean, Jim Brown was, I believe, the first African American on film to have a love scene with a white woman.
Raquel Welch.
Raquel Welch.
It was Raquel Welch. That was the Burt Reynolds movie, wasn't it?
I don't remember
I think it was Burt Reynolds, Jim Brown, and Raquel Welch. Yeah, man. I remember when I was a kid for sports, and then like, oh wow, he's in movies. Because my big movie for him was, of course, The Dirty Dozen. He was so
sure
good
he
in
did
that.
that a lot of ways to really, put the word out, and it wasn't very popular. What they were doing then was not only not popular, but it went against the corporate grain of the teams that they played for. Every one of those guys on that screen was a star of a franchise. So you were walking a thin line of representing us and then representing the franchise and the NFL, NBA, and all those. And those guys, if you look at it today, like Michael Jordan took a business approach to it because he had the luxury to do so because of when his career took place. But these guys did not have the luxury of taking a business approach to civil rights era. So, like I said, I think we all benefited from it.
Oh,
Amen.
We have to begin the wrapping of the show.
Yeah, we do. But I want to point out something. One of my favorite films with him was I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker, and where he had a bunion. And he kept threatening people. Don't get near my bunion. I'll shoot you. I'll kill you. Don't you get near my bunion. Fucking movie. Because isn't he the co-owner of the restaurant that Chris Rock had his first scene in?
Oh,
I don't remember.
See, I think he co-owns that restaurant, and Chris Tucker's trying to find the cheapest way to get something. Can you just pour soda in my hand? I don't need a
remember
cup.
that movie
Just pour
for
it in my
Fly
hand.
Guy.
And then he pulls out money. He says, "Can you break 100?"
You know, before we stop on that, you know, Jim Brown retired. Correct me if I'm wrong, William. Early in his career, so he can do other areas. You know, in his activism, in raising up the African American community. So, Kings, I hear you as far as like sports, but he used sports as a gateway to help out his community, which in turn helped out a lot of brown and black communities. So, you know, you got it. You sometimes that is the only way out. And then Jim Brown was an example of, all right, you got some of my great years, but I'm young and I want to do some other great things.
Yeah, we benefit. Like I said, a lot of people take that era for granted, and when they see things come up, they're like, "Why does it have to be this, or why does it have to be about that?" But we have the luxury of what they did, and we have the luxury of being able to talk about it on social media, and you know, to a certain degree, they were living it. These are stories to us. They're they lived
it was their reality. No, and I agree. I hate to end it here, guys, but this
Rest
is
in
it.
peace.
This is the end of the show. Polly, I want to thank you for being here. Stone Loki, thanks so much, guys. William, thanks for popping in. Fat
problem.
Steven Seagal, Das Wolfen, Martin, and of course, Penny, Anima Confusa, Sox Bulletins, E. Clay Thomas, and Kingsport Cal, Scribe Blight, the Peter Brinkman fan side, Monkey Jeebus, Parrot Head, Dragon Ruse, Andy Morrow, Donnie Pearson. I lost my place. Arwen Avalon, Jaime G. Voltaic, whatever that is. I can't pronounce that. Let's see. Matt Vader, Boosh McFadden, Zombie Box Reviews, and Real Way Nation Gaming. Thank you all. And Magitech Mags, thank you all for being here. Happy Friday. Have a great weekend. See you tomorrow with Tom with Ghostbusters. Bye now.
Those sons of bitches.
Ma, I'm doing a show.